Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Ask the Expert. And I'm really excited to be here today with my co-host, Teresa Ream, and our guest, which we will introduce you to in just a second. But I really kind of want to invite everybody to take a moment. We're wrapping up pretty quickly here, 2021, and getting ready to jumpstart our 2022. So I really want to encourage you that as you're listening to our expert today, to really be thinking about not just connecting with her. We, of course, want you to do that, but we also really want you to think about what is she going to share and how can you implement that in your business to help you jumpstart that 2022. So we really want to encourage you to do that, to have a takeaway, whether it's a little one or a big one. What could make the difference in your business and your life by just spending the 30 minutes or less that you spend with us every single week. So Teresa, I'm going to turn it over to you. Can you tell everyone a little bit about our guest today?
Yes, thank you, Patty. Today we are talking about using photography to your best advantage and how it can help grow your credibility with Florence Catania. Walk into Florence's Pebble Beach home that houses her spacious studio with natural light streaming into the window, and you suddenly relax knowing you are in the presence of a gifted photographer. Florence no doubt got her joie de la vivre because she was born in France. Florence then lived in England for a few years, then off to the beautiful Bay Area, California in 1999. She soon landed in the Monterey area 3 years ago. Florence has been a full-time photographer for the past 11 years. She specializes in photographing people, specifically headshots and portraits portfolios. She creates children's portraits and also lifestyle sessions for family and high school seniors. Florence loves to work with the play of light, both indoors and outdoors, and travels to the Bay Area for corporate projects too. She loves meditating, lifting weights, and reading. And she is wrapping up, get this, she is wrapping up her 25th book this year. I want to hear more about this. So welcome, Florence.
Thank you so much for having me, Teresa and Patty.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. 25 books. Wow, that's a lot. I have 5, but 25. Wow, that's a lot. So I got to tell you, before we get started with our regular questions, I'm sure everyone's like, wait, we want to hear about the 25 books.
Yes,
so why don't you start by telling us a little bit about that? 25 books. Are they photography books of photos or what? Tell us a little bit.
So they're actually books that I've read. Just a clarification, not that I wrote.
Oh,
that I've read. So that's one of my favorite things to do is, as Teresa was saying, is, meditating, lifting weight, and read. I read a lot.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which is
actually, I still think reading 25
books is really good too.
That's awesome. I was thinking 25 books. How do you have time to take photos, right? But that's okay, because really, here, how about this? We'll wrap up and kind of jump the question here. So if you are such an avid reader, what would you say is a couple suggestions for books that you've read that you can suggest that we all have? Like, I love being a resource. So what are some of your favorites?
Yes, actually, I've read, so I love self-help books. Atomic Habits is one of my favorite this year. I think it's been written years ago. And it really, I think routine and good habits is definitely help us being grounded and be the most serene in this busy life. And it's really about implementing really tiny habits every day. And that was probably one of my favorite this year. And also the second one is called Strength in Our Scars. And that's a wonderful book. Apologize, I can't remember the name of the author, but I can post it on the Facebook page. And it's about really, after being broken in any way, how to rebuild yourself, how to find love again, not only love in general, but love with yourself, within yourself. And that's fantastic. Little books like this that you read every morning, 1 or 2 pages, can really change the way you center your day. And I've just found it very inspiring and helpful.
I love that. And I think that as women, we really do need it, right? Because I think that, finding, we're so good at loving our children and our spouse. But when you're in business, and loving the people we build relationships with, I think sometimes we don't spend as much time loving ourselves, right? Because you really do have to kind of refill your pitcher, right? So I always like to say self-care is not selfish. So
Yeah.
I think it is very, very important. So taking that time to read, I actually read every single morning too. One of our friends, Gina Estrada, really kind of encouraged me to do those habits with Miracle Morning, which is a book by Hal Elrod. And so I did that with her the very first weekend, Gina and I met, when we stayed in a room together and we didn't even know each other. We were speakers at an event, and Joey Garrity put us in a room together. We didn't even know each other, and we hit it off and literally became best friends from spending a whole weekend together.
Yes.
But from that and that book, I did that too. And the other, as long as we're talking about research, the other thing that I've done is, so how people love to vision board? It's been around for a long time, the whole cut up the magazines and whatever. So I actually have a vision board, but it's on Pinterest, and it's a secret board that nobody else can see. And I put all the affirmations of all the things that I see that I love. And so every morning when I have coffee, I go to my Pinterest board and I look at all my affirmations that I have there. And that just totally jumpstarts my day, right? Because I'm very visual, so I like seeing it. And so every year when I do it, it's really fun for me because it's so much easier than cutting for me. Cutting up stuff is just to go find stuff online and copy and paste.
Yes, that's perfect, Patty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love vision boarding. I have a vision board that I still have to this day that I did 35 years ago. And I did two, actually. I did one how my life was and one how I wanted it to be. And the one how my life was I was eating really badly. I was stressed. And then the other vision board is exactly my life today.
Wow. So, I love that. It's powerful. Yeah. I think really honestly, when you can create a vision, then your mind will manifest it for you, right? It's like you're putting it out there. It's kind of like when you buy a car and you never see it. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you buy that car, like you see 50 million of them. Yes. It's because now you kind of tuned your brain into that. And I know that for me, every time I have decided I wanted something, if I didn't get it, looking back, I realized it's because I wasn't committed enough to it. Right. So I didn't manifest it. Once I was committed, like it just seemed like very quickly that I got it. So I love that. And I have to tell you, because we are visual, that kind of leads back to photography, right? And being so visual, because I really, really am. So I have to tell you, listening to those different things that you like to do, lifestyle and children and headshots and business, that is really, really great. What's the thing that you would say, if you had to name one, which I know is hard, but what's the number one thing that differentiates you from other photographers in your industry?
So I would say that my certification. So I'm a professional photographer of America. Give you the opportunity to earn this certification. That basically is a representation of your excellence of your excellent technical and artistic ability. Ooh. And it was hard, and I took it in 2011, and I was awarded the certificate, which was one of my biggest achievements. Actually, it was some kind of a self-validation too, and how can I better serve my clients? And you have to actually maintain it. So not only it's pretty hard to get it at the beginning, but you also have to recertify every 3 years. So you have to maintain that level of education by accumulating a certain number of points, by attending workshop, having one-on-one with an expert. So it's really a nice representation of your basically abilities. And to me, it's really the acknowledgement that I can really serve my clients the best that I can.
I love that. And both Teresa and I know we've had conversations about this, but it really is about continuing to sharpen the saw, so to speak, right? You can get certified, you can learn something And if you don't continue to hone your craft, right? I always like to joke around and say that, I have a degree in computer science, which I think is fabulous. But I've honed that skill continuously, because if I didn't, I don't think that anybody cares that when I was in school, we were still doing floppy disks, and I could tell you everything about those, right? But since we don't use them anymore, I don't think anybody cares that I went to school for that, right? It's the continuing to hone our skill that makes us get better and better and sharpening the saw. I don't remember who exactly said that. I don't know if you do,
The
Teresa.
7 habits of highly effective people.
I knew she would know, because we have had that conversation, right?
I read
So
a
it's
lot.
really important. So I love that you continue to do that, because that's really excellence, is really being able to do that.
And it's also very, when you have a passion, like you nourish it, right? So it's very important to do that. And when you go to workshop, it's also nice because you're building your community. So that can be also online, but that can also be, you go to Texas for
community and connection is what it's all about.
Yeah, it's super key to success, and it really gives you that motivation and maintain your passion. It's very important.
Not only that, but I think when you're part of a community, if you're part of a community that's made up of your peers, specifically if they're in the same industry with you, right? So I think it's always important to do that, because you learn from them too. When you have a community, you share, and you might share a technique, or you might share something that's really working. You're like, oh, wow, I never thought to do that. Like you said earlier about being artistic, right? Well, we're all artistic in different ways. So,
Yes.
Hanging out in a community where you get to learn from other people's creativity and artistic nature only improves us.
Yes, absolutely. We absorb it from our peers. It's just so important. And it's important to keep fresh in our craft. So that is amazing. Well, I have another question for you. I'm noticing that especially women, they are very apprehensive about getting their photos done, and they will let it go on. They'll use the same photo for 10 years. And because they've always got an excuse of why they can't get it updated. So with that in mind, what are some of the questions that you're hearing the most out of your clients before they actually come in?
Oh, can I guess first?
Yes, absolutely. That'd be fun.
Let's guess. And then you tell us. But here's what I'm going to guess, especially now that we're spending so much time on Zoom and stuff. So I'm going to guess, and maybe I'm wrong. And then you tell me how many times often you hear this.
This is fun, Patty.
I know. I know it is. But how many times do people ask you how they can look thinner on Zoom? Like, how can you make me not have a double chin? How can you make me look thinner? How many times do you hear that?
Yes, quite a bit, actually. But I guess that would the first question would be, what should I wear? And it's interesting because even a woman who's super confident and doesn't question this every day, she will question it before coming to a photo shoot. So I always release the pressure by saying, bring clothes that you love and you feel great in, because
otherwise she's going to bring all black.
Yeah, or otherwise, they're going to feel that they have to buy something else, something new. Or they feel that they have to change cut their hair. No, none of that, because you want to be you. You want to be comfortable, right? So you have to love every single thing that you wear, and you don't want to have a drastic change of hair just prior to the session, because you're not going to feel comfortable, right? So it's really I have a wonderful makeup artist and hairstylist, Kiyomi, who works with me. And she can always help out with either a retouch of makeup or full makeup or hair, but it's not a drastic change from who you are. And, this is what I want to capture, is the real you.
Essence, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's really, usually clients are, okay, now I feel a bit better. And then
I think it is good to know that, though, because I have to tell you, I flew to California before I knew you, Teresa, and I flew to California to work with this photographer, and I did it for a day, and we were in studio, and the pictures turned out great, except for one thing. And except for one thing that just, I never would have thought, which is that I tend in my life to wear 3/4 length sleeves. I just like 3/4 length sleeves and
Yes.
stuff. And so I did it. But when I saw myself in all the pictures, it made my arm look cut off. I thought, like, it just was weird how it
Yes.
was cut off, like right in the middle of my arm. And I really didn't like it, that part. So I ended up having her cut a lot of those off, like right above that, so that I couldn't, because it really bothered me. And then somebody told me, oh yeah, you're always going to look the best if you wear long sleeves. I was like, really? Like I would have not known that.
Well, the only reason for this, usually it's nice to have covered arms. And the only reason is, it's not because it doesn't look good or anything like this. It's when you do a portrait, it's nice that your viewers go straight to your eyes, eye contact. If you see some skin here, the first thing, the eyes are going to go to that arm. That's why it's nice to have an impactful portraits, is to go straight to the eye of the subject that you're seeing. That's one of the rules in portraiture. I mean,
well, that would be the essence, right? A lot of our essence really comes from our eyes and being able to have that. So I would think that that would be true. I love that.
You know, credibility is in your eyes, your approachability is in your mouth and your smile. You know, so when you have no distraction, and that's why I also always encourage. So my clients come with all their clothes, we go through them. I usually can visualize what I'm going to photograph with my studio light, which is in this studio here. And then I separate the busier pattern or maybe more color. And we usually go in the natural light studio. I have two. So it gives them really a variety of, like a portfolio, various images, different look and feel, you know, that's very important, that they can use to, you know, wherever they want to. And I also usually, for example, also big jewels can distract, right? Big earrings can distract from like studio light for like a headshot. But if you go on natural light, we took beautiful pictures of Teresa actually with her beautiful earrings. So it really depends on the look and feel. And this is where my expertise come into place. Like, you know, I can visualize, and usually I know how to photograph you and where, under what light.
Yes, I loved how you did it too. You kind of did a build up, so to speak. You had me stand very still and you did certain things inside. And then eventually you took me outside and you kind of let me run. You kind of let me just move. And then I was able to kind of get some energy out.
Yes.
And it felt really good. And you kind of captured that energy for me. So I really thought the way you did that was pretty brilliant. You did the buildup of the stillness, then outside in some different furniture, and then the movement outside. So that was lovely.
Thank you.
Well, see, love how you get to tap into this. So I think, you know, we don't always get to talk to a photographer like before we're there, and then it's kind of too late because we already bought our clothes and we already went. So getting to hear little tips about what kind of things we should do or think about anyway, right? You know, and the reality is, think of all the money we spend investing in our business, right? And in our life on things for all kinds of different reasons. And then when we go have our photos taken, like, why wouldn't you want to make sure that you're investing in an expert for that? Because I got to tell you, if there's anything I want an expert for, is somebody who knows how to take pictures. And I know I'm going to be super vulnerable here and say and admit this because it'll make my point. But I know that whenever I'm hiring a photographer and I go look at their websites and I see all these beautiful pictures, what I look for is, can they take pictures of people who don't wear a size 5, right? You know, I don't wear a size 5, right? And so I want to know, like, so if I look at their portfolio and every person in that portfolio is, you know, 100 pounds, like, then that, you know, I question, well, are they going to be able to shoot me in the best way possible, right? So,
yes.
So I always ask those questions, right? You know, I always want to know, like, have you worked with people who are not a size 5, right? You know, can you do that well?
Yeah, and I think that it's super important, and you know, this is where also the connection with my clients is when I'm in my studio and my clients comes in, I'm 200% with them. And this is where we start connecting. I want them to feel comfortable and, trust me, basically. I want them to trust me to make the best images of them, and I love that, women.
And I have seen Teresa, so you've done a phenomenal job, because I've seen all of Teresa's pictures and they're fabulous. So thank you.
I think the connection and to be able to listen in every businesses, I think, is also key.
No, I think that's really true too. Absolutely. Yes. And I think that when you're having a conversation with the photographer, this is where you really want to share and be able to say, what's the goal? Like, oh, these are going to be for my website. Oh, these are going to sit on our mantle. Oh, these we're going to send out to family because we haven't had family photos. These are going to be for my business. Oh, these I'm going to use for all my marketing. Like, knowing that helps you. You hire an expert, give them the information they need to help you, right?
Absolutely. And there's some even, deeper need. It could be, I want to gain confidence in myself again. Things like this. It can have a photo session is more than just, oh, you sit down and I'll just photograph you. It's not, it's really a real connection, and how to listen and address everybody's, inhibitions or anything like this that will give them, would have a great impact on them. I remember when I wanted to run my own business, I've read something that said that when you have your own business, make sure you have a great positive impact. Like what you do does that. And I see it every time I see it, because it could be portrait of a child, a portrait of a loved one. It could be elevating the confidence in women, so it validates everything I do every day.
Must be so rewarding too. That would be very rewarding. And then to see them, how excited they get when they see them, that you captured them and just what they wanted and stuff. That would be very, very rewarding. I'm sure there's some tears involved sometimes there.
Yes, it's and you're right, Florence. There is that confidence building, not only when you get the photos and you're able to use those, but also as you're doing the photo shoot, there's some confidence in that you are taking that time for yourself and you are putting yourself out there to be photographed and getting that connection with your photographer. When I told her, I says, there's a little roll here. Are you? And she's, I've got this. I've totally got this. So anywhere that you might have just this little thing that's not looking right, she can take care of that. And that was very soothing to me, because I'm not a real small person. So it was very, very nice, very confident building. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, that is fabulous. Love that, Florence. I can't wait to meet you when I come to again. So do you have something you're working on, maybe a project that you're working on right now that we can serve and support you, by us and obviously our audience, our community, right? Your community as well, to get out about you? Like, what can we do to serve and support you? So do you have anything special you're doing for the holidays or the new year? Or, that's a great time for the new year, is a great time to update all of your profile pictures on your social, right? So what you got going on that we can share for you?
So nothing specific, really. Whatever going on is my business, running my business every day. So I would say, if you know anybody who benefits in rebranding their website with new images or the new headshot, if you want to book a family session, or if you know someone who has a senior coming up and I can make portrait. Any gift certificate, if you know someone would love a headshot for
gift certificates make great gifts. They
are fully customized, and once they actually have it in their hand, they're like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So it's a beautiful gift. So thank you.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Nice, nice. Well, for my question, you know, in the Professional Women's Network, we have so many amazing women and men, and the connectivity there is exponential compared to just, you know, normal. So is there someone we can introduce you to that could be a game changer for you?
I would need to think about that. That sounds
Okay.
like such a great opportunity that I would need to think about it, and I'll let you know. Thank you.
Can I help? I'm a marketing person. I'm a marketing person.
That's awesome, buddy. Yeah, you know, marketing is always tough for me anyway. So,
Well, I think from a marketing point of view, like really thinking about who would be collaborative partners. So obviously people in marketing, we're always telling people we need new marketing photos, but also people in branding. Like, you know, when people decide they're going to either refresh their brand or they're starting out and they're looking, you know, they go to a professional person to say, you know what, I need to brand. Really knowing those people are in front of your people all the time. So really collaborating with them. And I have some ideas we could talk about offline if you want, but I really think that branding people, marketing people, or anybody who does anything where people are putting out their messaging, because you could have the greatest words in your messaging, but if the photos don't match that, there's a disconnect there. So really being able to work with, if we're in business, right, you know, working with someone who does that for a living will be able to help guide their clients. I mean, they have ready-made clients just right for you. So I think that would be really good. I have a few people I can introduce you to for sure.
Yes, and Joey Garrity came and had her photography done there, and she is a branding specialist and knows everyone. I know there's coaches when people are coaching women, especially. It's like get that headshot. That's one of the first things. Also, what I'm thinking too is professionals. There's a lot of professionals just in anything, doctors, lawyers, and you look at their pictures and you're like, you need some help here. So any kind of marketing that would go along with that. I know my dentist, in fact, we had a photo shoot about 4 or 5 months ago. She takes pictures of her clients and then she hangs them all over her office with their smiles.
I have to tell you, I love that. When you told me that, I thought that was a brilliant marketing strategy. But you know who else? Social media people. When people hire social media people and now they're all worried about their content, but yet their photos on their social media are old, they don't match, they're a picture with their Christmas tree behind them or whatever, right? So social media people, those would be really great people too. I'm super excited, Florence. We need to hop on a call so that I can do some intros for you.
And I do already do this for, you know, book authors. I do a lot of corporate shoots in the Bay Area. You know, I've been doing that for a while. I do all the branding images for Lieben and Perick. They are cosmetic surgeon, Dr. Lieberman and Dr. Perick in Palo Alto. And I do all their branding for their website. And if you go in their office, they have all those portraits, well, similar to the background. So that is infinite. You know, the need is here.
Sure is.
It's really staying top of mind. It's kind of like, you know, when you're in a community, it's like, what can I do to stay top of mind? I always call that buying brain cells, right? You know, like so that you're top of mind. So I think that is really important. But as we're talking about that in social, what social media platform are you the most active on? So if people want to connect with you, like, how should they do it?
Yeah, so I'm mainly on Facebook and Instagram. My Instagram handle is Florence_Catania. And this is my 2 main platform, actually, where I'm pretty active. You know, I probably post once a week. And I get a lot of messaging, and, you know, we're connecting. I always entertain this nurturing and community environment. So yeah, don't hesitate to text me or contact me via this platform.
Oh, and those are really good ones too. So Thank you so much, Florence, for being here with us and sharing your expertise, your brilliance with us. I think I personally got a lot out of it. I could tell that Teresa did too, and I'm sure our audience did as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And to our audience, thank you for once again joining us right here on Ask the Expert. And if you enjoyed today's show, and I am sure you did, don't keep us a secret. Right? Don't keep us a secret. Share us with your network. And believe me when I say your colleagues, your friends, and your family will thank you. And before we go, we have an invitation.
Thank you, Patty, and thank you, Florence. We would like to invite you to join us on our Facebook group and connect with our guest, with Patty and myself, and with the other amazing women that are part of the Professional Women's Network of the Monterey Peninsula, known as PWN, and now includes members locally, nationally, and internationally too. You can find us at www.facebook.com/groups/PWN Monterey.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful, wonderful week. For those going to WOTY, Woman of the Year tonight, have a fabulous night. Congratulations again, Jody. We're really excited about your
Yes.
of the year, right? And thank you so much, Florence. We will talk soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.